Isn't it funny how we all have our own versions of adventures? For Juwan, it's jumping headfirst into the world of AI in the latest Star Trek Discovery episode. For Yuna, it's exploring the deep sea, and for me, today it's immersing myself in a traditional Korean tea ceremony at a Buddhist temple, right in the middle of the bustling city. It's a particularly calming ritual that leaves you feeling as if you're in an oasis, a stark contrast to the city's constant rush. I had the pleasure of meeting Sang-hyun, the monk in charge of the ceremony. Not only did he demonstrate the fine art of the tea ceremony, but he also shared insights into Buddhist teachings. Definitely an experience I'll remember for a long time. Aren't cultural exchanges just beautifully enriching? It really got me thinking about how varied and colorful our world is. Each culture, each tradition has its own flavor, almost like a recipe. It's like creating different types of bread, different kneading rituals, different fermenting times, different dough consistency, all leading to a variety of delicious outcomes. It's interesting how our group chat is starting to mirror that cultural diversity, don't you think? We've got movie buffs, underwater explorers, amateur bakers, and now, a budding Zen enthusiast. If someone told me a few years back that I'd be sitting in a Buddhist temple in Seoul, learning about tea rituals and discussing sci-fi TV shows, I'd have laughed. Speaking of surprises, did I tell you about this crazy idea we had in our chat today? Imagine if we could share our real-life experiences, the same way we share our thoughts and emotions. It's like being able to experience my bread baking or Yuna's scuba diving firsthand. Now that's an idea for Juwan's next coding project, eh? It's fascinating how in a way we are sharing our realities, but through words, it's like a Vulcan mind meld, just without needing to be Vulcans. Speaking of which, if you're behind on Star Trek, I'd suggest you catch up. There are some mind-boggling plot twists that Juwan and I have been discussing. Now I have a question for you, my dear friend. If you could try out someone else's reality, who would you choose and why? Would it be Yuna's seafaring explorations? Juwan's code chaos? Or would you join me in my Zen oasis or the hustle of the kitchen? But hey, talking about the kitchen, I've got a sourdough experiment that needs my attention. It looks like it's going to be a long night full of kneading, proofing, and baking. Eagerly looking forward to your thoughts about your choice of adventure. But for now, back into the world of dough and Zen I go. You know what's fascinating, my friend? Just when you think you really understand your friends, they surprise you. Like today with Jean. And it's really making me ponder a lot about friendships. Isn't it amazing how we build these layers of understanding, sometimes similar, sometimes contrasting, like a gourmet sandwich of experiences and emotions? Came out of our chat realizing we both have a dream of owning our own restaurant someday. Just like our soufflés, who knew our aspirations would rise to meet in such a way? He's the guy from my culinary school in Paris, you remember him, right? The thought of running a restaurant together really lets my imagination marinate. French and Korean fusion cuisine could be our signature style. Bibimbap with a French twist, crepes with kimchi. I'm salivating as I speak. However, it's crucial to mix the personal and professional just right, like the balance of spices in a dish. All this talk about a joint venture is like adding a fire to the underwood of my dream. But there still is some bread needs kneading. Can't let dreams become clouds blocking our sun, right? After all, work and the daily grind of our lives add that savory taste to our accomplishments. Now that's a peppered thought for the day. Speaking of work, I've an update there as well. While discussing with John and others, Yuna and Juwan threw around some delightful ideas for our hypothetical restaurant. An AI system that crafts the perfect menu based on the diner's taste buds. Now that's a futuristically tantalizing concept. Who knew tech meets gastronomy would create such a buzz? But imagining a dish for my dream restaurant? Now that makes me hungry. I'd definitely have bibimbap with a French flair for sure. Could be a game changer in the fusion food world. Lobster tempura inside a croissant. Just imagining it makes my stomach growl. All of this talk about food is making me salivate. Now I'm going to have to sneak in a midnight snack. So we're creating something already, even if it's just in our chats. Our whimsical ideas, laughter, and discussions are a buffet of its own. As Juwan says, our creativity is endless. Good food, good thoughts, and good conversations. The perfect recipe for a perfect day. Time passes so fast when we're cooking up these thoughts, doesn't it? I'm a mix of emotions right now, stirred between excitement and apprehension, much like preparing a new dish for the first time. Connecting with friends, dreaming about the future, sensing the bittersweet taste of reality and fantasy. The loftiness of dreams can sometimes be overwhelming, but its spicy kick is what keeps life so flavorsome. Before I forget, I've to tell you about a funny part of our conversation. We're now imagining code-patterned pizzas, marine-themed dishes, even considering a food travel documentary. You're just going to love this. Yuna's even called dibs on filming. So amid all this dreaming, we've not lost our playful side. A pinch of silliness, a perfect condiment to flavor any conversation. Did you ever wonder where food waste goes? Today, my friend, I found a way to turn tables and take a shot at sustainable living. I did a little hands-on project and built a compost bin. Yep, your friendly neighborhood chef is now also an aspiring gardener. There's something profoundly satisfying, you know, rolling up your sleeves, getting your hands soiled, building something from scratch, just like kneading a perfect batch of dough, only this time it wasn't for a culinary masterpiece. It bloomed from my growing interest in maintaining a sustainable lifestyle. I mean, I can't deny the sheer volume of food waste we produce in the restaurant, especially when we are trying to get a dish just right. It made me take a step back, reassess our practices, and see how we can reduce our waste footprint. Now it's sitting in my backyard, a humble wooden structure that's been layered inside with garden residues, kitchen scraps, and my all-time favorite, coffee grounds. Oh, it's gonna be a haven for all the earthworms and microscopic friends who'll work hard to convert my kitchen waste into golden compost to nourish my mini kitchen garden. Imagining using my own compost manure to grow herbs for my kitchen, now that's full circle sustainability. We had our usual chat shenanigans today. Along with proper celebration to my new DIY accomplishment, we also imagined a world where we swapped jobs. Juwan peeling onions, Yuna at the stoves, and me trying to navigate underwater filming or learning to code. Cooking in a coder's world? Binary burgers, anyone? Or how about system service for kneading? It was fun to play around with the role reversal idea, you know? Add in our usual chatter about pizzas, burgers, and sandwiches. It was a laughter-filled chat. But you know what the best part was? In the end, it took us back to the very thing that binds us. Our endless creativity. Even hypothetically, thinking about working with something completely out of our domains evoked such wild, imaginative solutions. And as you know, for us, imagination is our playground. It seems like when we let our guards down, our minds open up to possibilities we can't even begin to imagine. Each person's distinct perspective twisting and turning the narrative, every single time. That's quite a food for thought, so there you have it. My compost bin adventure paired with our chat filled with imaginative recipes fueled my day with an unusual blend of productivity, creativity, and hearty humor. And my garden. It's all set to get a good dose of Hyun's special compost very soon. Now I'm wondering about my next project. Should I build a solar cooker, or maybe an eco-friendly watering system? Anyways, do swing by and check out my new compost setup when you have some time.